project. Love Life Outreach Construction Company can build or have your house looking new in no time. For more information, simply call 317-991-3150 or simply visit our website, llovt.net, for a free quote. Call today. Love Life Outreach Construction Company works for you. Call 317-991-3150. You'll be glad that you did.
The following is a paid program. The views and opinions expressed are those of the sponsor and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio 1, WTLC AM 1310, 92.7 FM, 95.1 FM, The Light, and its management.
Black people need to own our own businesses, which will provide an economic base. Teach our youth to become self-sufficient. Learn how to maximize our political affiliations and fight for criminal justice reform. You just tuned in to Black Power Presents with your host, Antonio Lipscomb. Come on, let's talk.
All right, I am your host. I am in the house. I'm ready to go. Hopefully I'm ready to go. Listen, I have been in we call it North Carolina. I've been in Gary, Indiana. I've gotten back home, and if I had my way, I would not be hosting Black Power Presents today. I would be in the bed, I tell you. But such a delight to have another radio broadcast, and certainly we have a lot of responsibility. And anytime we're given this opportunity, we just have to continue to move forward and do what we need to do. Now, listen, this is a community show. That means it's your show. So if you would like to call in at any time, feel free to call in. If you got any questions, comments, the number to call would be 317-239-1310. We try to come on every week, every Monday, 6 o'clock. And although we are a pastor and we believe in the Lord and the Spirit of the Lord, we do want to take our time to talk about issues in our community so that we can make sure we're making a difference in our community. I think that is extremely, extremely important. So for those who want to be involved in the show, I'm quite sure your interest will be piqued. I have Dr. Dorothy Heron with me, who's going to be my co-host today. How you doing, Dr. Heron?
I'm doing great.
Okay, you're doing great and you're sounding great. It's so good to hear your voice, and I'm so glad that you're able to co-host Black Power Presents. I tell you, we have been doing a lot in the community that some may or may not be aware of. We launched through our church, Community Church Indy. We launched our Community Safe Sunday, where we had a number of different people in the gymnasium in Him by Her Collegiate School of Arts, 4501 East 32nd Street. We had a lot of young people, middle-aged people, even older people that was in that gymnasium. And I tell you, we had a wonderful time. First Lady, she laid out all the food and snacks, and the children were so very blessed to be able to participate in an active opportunity. And I was so glad to see the kids not on the cell phones or on the tablets, but actually running around, having fun, doing what needs to be done in order to enjoy life. And certainly, I think these are one of the key elements, especially as we move into the spring. And of course, we know summer is going to come right after that. And we are struggling with these homicides, and we're looking to see how we can continue to partner with different groups to try to stop the homicides in the city. One of the things that we are working on is community faith walks. So anybody who wants to ever be a community captain, you can simply go onto our website, communitychurchindy.org, sign up to be a faith walk captain. And Dr. Dorothy Heron, tell us about some of the things you've been doing in the community as we wait for our guests to come onto the show.
One of the things that I'm really so proud of that we did last Saturday, we had our emergency cleanup. We put it together in about a week. We had so many organizations that came out and took a part in that cleanup.
Yes.
And we went back Saturday. Pastor, I don't know if we shared with you, but we went back this past Saturday to do some things, kind of do touch up because it's an ongoing passion to clean up our city.
Mm-hmm.
We want our city to be clean.
Right.
When you look out and you see it so clean, you'll think twice before you throw something out there. And we've been doing that. We've got the Safe Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We're just all over loving on our people and letting them know that we are here for them. I attended a father's baby shower this past Saturday at the Y. Y'all, it was awesome. We had presenters there. I don't know if y'all know this gentleman, but he's a boxer. He told his story. Alfonso Belli, he told his story. And it was just great to have the young men. We had at least 25 men to come out and just listen to how they could be other. We had grandfathers as presenters. We had fathers as presenters. And it was great, y'all. And everybody needs to come together and really find out what we're doing. We're doing great things as a people.
That's right. I want to give a shout out to Michael Wiley. He's the commander. I believe he's over the Northeast District. He's an African American male young man that actually gave us a video for our faith walks that we're going to be publishing. And he has a heart. He's over commander over that district, and he's got a lot of responsibility because when you are over the district who has the largest number of homicides, you're looking for solutions and trying to do things in a way that would make a difference. And I think that he's got a listening ear and an open heart to be receptive as to what we are trying to do. And even on that community cleanup, I've had the chief of police, Randall Taylor. I've talked with him extensively, and we got some ideas, and we're trying to do some things different. We want to not necessarily ostracize the police because the reality of it is Black people call the police more than anybody else. It's just that we want to make sure when we do call the police that we get the proper response from the police and the police are engaged. And so we're thankful for Commander Mike Wiley and his leadership and what he's trying to do, work with our church and other community organizations to reduce the homicides. And I tell you, that event that we launched on Sunday, I think that's one of the key opportunities. Harry Dunn over the Collegiate School of Arts, him by her Collegiate School of Arts, allowed us to rent that gymnasium. And I tell you, we had snacks, we had kids playing, we had older people praying. I mean, it was just a beautiful thing. It just felt good, felt, like it was community. And I think that that's something that we're going to strive to continue. What you think, Dr. Wilkingham?
Oh, yeah. We need to, because we need the community and the community needs us. We are the community.
Mm-hmm.
And the best idea is still out there. So we want you all to come in with your ideas. We want a happy, healthy community so we can have happy, healthy families.
That's right.
And you got an issue with somebody, first thing you need to do is pray about it. And we're available. We've got therapists, we got doctors, we got everything we need to be healthy and happy.
That's right. That's right. And so, listen, we had a wonderful, wonderful time this Sunday from the preaching of the word and Sunday's service, as well as our way of giving back by doing the community safe Sundays. We're just going to continue to follow this mission and this dream. And I'm anticipating an undercover brother coming on. He's going to give us an idea of what's going on in the criminal justice system, because we're trying to reach these young people We don't want them to go to these jails and prisons. We want them to have a chance at life, and it's up to us to work with the necessary municipalities to be able to try to make that happen. We have a agreement with the Department of Corrections, Scott Holt. We're reaching out to him for those who have the bands on their legs, and of course those that are in transitioning for far as being in the home, correctional homes and whatnot. We want to work with them. And speaking of that, we got a great relationship with our sheriff. And I want to, can we give applause for our sheriff? Amen. Kerry Forstall is doing a wonderful, wonderful job along with his staff, Chief Greer, and then also chaplain over the CCA jail. He's doing good, as well as Chief Underwood. Terrence Dickerson is the warden over CCS jail, and Chief Underwood. I think we probably got 60 or 70 people that we're actually training inside CCA jail to get vocational training as well as job placement. All right, we have a caller on the line. I guess it's Denise.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing today? Welcome to Black Power Presents. You got a comment and a question?
Well, yeah. My son was the 25th homicide, Darrell Brown.
My Lord.
Killed 25th.
My Lord.
And I know something needs to be done, and it's still difficult dealing with it, but these young kids need to realize, and I think maybe if they go, when these people get killed, go to the family and see how the family has to struggle to pay for the funeral if they don't have insurance. Go to this mortuary, show them the impact of your actions. When you kill somebody out of anger, or you just, I want to kill the person, or you need to see the devastation before you really act.
Right.
They need to go be with a mother that lost her son and see how you had to go to the corner and pick up his stuff, how you had to go pack up his apartment, how you had to go and do the funeral arrangements, how you have to do the paperwork. It is just so much stuff that I didn't know that these young kids need to see it firsthand.
That's right.
So they need to see, look what you caused his mother, look what you caused his sister. His daughter got to grow up without a father that he loved dearly. So when we used to, back in the day, we used to fight and that was it. That makes you a big person.
Right.
And you live another day. But to pull out a gun, these people are killing, used to be women and children was off limits. Now they're killing people, women and children like it's nothing. And they don't have no value for their lives. They don't fear God. They don't have no respect for nothing. But if they get them as teenagers and middle school and let them go on a ride with the homicide, let them go to the mortuary, let them sit with the family while they go make plans, let them sit with the families, the sisters and brothers and aunts and grandmothers, and let them see the devastation it's causing because you want to pick up a gun or somebody tells you, I don't like that person or y'all want to get into it. You need to see all this stuff before you really act.
That's right.
I think they'll think twice.
That's right. That's right.
And I think they need to catch them at middle school. Like, I'm not my kids' friends. I'm their mother. I work 3 jobs. I told my kids, work hard for what you want. Don't take none. If you can't get it right there, it eventually comes to you. And my son was working very hard. He was getting his stuff together. Went to the Army. He was getting his stuff together. Loved his daughter. And because somebody wanted his cell phone, they thought it was, he said, you want to do this. And that's the last message the girl heard. And they shot him. And he died on the operating table. So these young kids need to really see that. They need to go in the hospital and see the devastation. They need to go and see everything you did. Or think before you do it. Look what you're going to cause this money. I'm sick every day. I just went back to work after being off a month. It's a sick feeling. It's a nightmare. But these people don't think about it. They pick up a gun. We get into it. I'm just going to just start shooting. You need to really think.
Right.
And parents need to make these kids be accountable. Quit being their friends. Quit drinking and smoking with them. Quit hanging out with them. You can be their parent and still talk to them and let them talk to you, but you ain't got to chill with them. You ain't got to hang with them. You got to smoke with them. You ain't got to drink with them.
Right.
You need to let them know it's consequences for your actions.
Right.
And I don't think they get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they don't get that. And they need to, because this right here,
okay,
it's hard. It's hard.
Yes.
And I want young kids to really think
right
before they take somebody's life, because your family life is going to be devastated too, because you're gone.
That's right. Well, I want to say to you, you have my deepest condolences for the loss of your son. And I want to say to you that definitely we will continue to pray for you and your loss. And certainly you are right. I think that we do need to come together simultaneously. We need some level of legislation that's going to stop the messaging of the mass media glorifying the homicides. I think that is really a huge, huge problem. I see videos now where young girls are having military weapons in their videos, styling, profiling, as though that is a thing to do. And our children daily are watching and listening and gyrating to this kind of a music. And I want you to know that with Community Church Indy, come by and see us, because your son's life is not for no reason. But I want you to continue to listen too, okay? Because we're going to show you the other side, not only just the grave side, but we have undercover brother that's coming on, and he's going to share with you when these individuals get caught, the type of lifestyle they need to live in. So it's not only just a death from the earthly side and our side of what we see, but there's also a criminal justice side of how this actual murderer is living inside the community of the criminal justice system. So please take my information from our producer, and we would love to pray with you and get back with you and support you in any way that we possibly can. All right?
Yep, I appreciate that.
Well, God bless you.
I like to say one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
And I feel like the pastor, but have you had any counseling?
No, I mean, Deacon says I got a hold of this and they talk to me, but it's like, I know I'm going to have to.
We got a partner.
Well, it's like, I just don't want to do it right now.
Here's what I would love for you to do. Here's what I would love for you to do. Leave your information with our producer. Dr. Dorothy Heron is going to get a hold of you, and we're going to talk about what we can do further to help support you, because definitely you need some support. And please know that you're not alone. All right? You are not alone. And I want you to continue to listen, because we can go into an advocacy place where we're looking to rescue our children from this attitude of murder and senseless murder and homicide. So would you stay listening with us, and please give your information to our producer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, God bless you, and we'll definitely get back in touch with you. All right. We have undercover brother that's on the line. He's calling in the bowels of the jail, the prison system, Marion County. Excuse me. Is Miami.
Miami Correctional Facility.
Miami Correctional Facility.
Yeah, how you doing, good brother?
Good. I am doing great. I know that on even last week you were trying to get in, undercover brother, and you were not able to. But you can hear the heart of this mother stating that she lost her son over some senseless death act that came and hurt her family. You can hear the hurt and the pain.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of it. It's sad what's going on in our communities.
Yes, and when we were talking offline, you were telling me about the other side of what happens when someone is in that position of being caught and put into the criminal justice system. And I just want you to share about your experience inside the prison walls and what your take would be on this prison system here in
right. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Let me begin. First of all, this is beside the point. I want to congratulate you and thank you for your neighborhood cleanup in the Brightwood area. That does a lot of good for the youth, not to come outside and see where they live, just some trash everywhere. It's good. I've been in the system. I came into the system February 14, 2003. I've been in the prison. I've been in prison. I started off with the Marion County Jail. I've been in prison since June the 22nd, 2004. I'm here. I've been here over 18 years. And this prison in particular here is one of the worst prisons that I've ever seen. It's one of the poorly ran prisons. We're on lockdown. Within the past 2 months, we've had Lifeline, helicopter, Lifeline, several different people out of here. One guy out of ICL House named Swisher, the deputy warden is here. He was on lockup. He's a really terrible person. He has made this place worse than anything. The superintendent was poorly run, and then the deputy warden came here from Michigan City. If you all go to Google and Google George Payne, you just wouldn't understand why they hasn't fired him. Everything that he does, it works against, the system. Anyway, he allegedly got stabbed, but he's back to work. They want to broadcast it like he got stabbed so they can, hustle the government out of more money. They lifelined him out of here. Wasn't too much wrong with it. And then there was a lady sergeant named Sergeant Porter. She allegedly got stabbed in her neck and everything, and in her back. And she's someone that comes in the unit and aggravates everyone. She doesn't have any respect for the rule of law or policy or anything. She comes in here, and makes things miserable. Not saying that I want to see her hurt, because I kind of like her. She's not always right, but I don't think she deserves to be hurt enough. But she's terrible. This place is, we're on lockdown, and we've been on lockdown for a while now. They've been shaking down different units, and they have a thing here where they're giving us cold food. They're killing us. Airmart is the food provider here, and they are killing us. This is nothing that's not for real. Everything they're giving us, lunch meat, and we get anywhere between 15 pieces of white bread, and which bread, Arnold Schwarzenegger calls it white death, it turns into sugar, cookies, cereal, just some type of breakfast drink that they call it. You don't get milk in here. You don't see no kind of fruit or nothing. People are sick from the food. They give you rotten apples, the kind of apples they feed horses. And the young men that are coming into this system are being thrown away. Once they come through the Marion County system or whatever system it is in Indiana, they throwing them away. They putting them in here forever. These boys are coming here with 200 or 300 years or 30 years, and it used to be that you do 50% of your time. In Indiana now they have 75, 85%. And there's a lot of young men that are here there's a lot of people that come to prison that are not guilty. That's another story. We'll talk about the court system and my experience on another time. But when they come in here, they don't have anything for them to do. I have a young man that's in the room with me now. He's been waiting forever to get into GED class. And he's been waiting, and he's been in the system, ever since he's been 15 years old. He's really a nice young man. And he made a mistake, and they sent him to prison. Originally, he had an opportunity to go to a camp, but they wanted him to come to prison. That's another story. But when they come in here, they don't have nothing here to rehabilitate them, because you do have a lot of young men that are returning to the streets, and when they get out there, they're going to reoffend because they don't have anything in here for them to get out and do. They don't have any type of trades that they can take up. They don't have building maintenance. They don't have auto body. They don't have carpentry. They don't have none of that stuff. You know, and what they do have, if they're allowed to get it, if they could get into class, when they get out, they don't get out without nothing. Everything in here is very poorly ran. It's all about money. This is most definitely the modern slave trade. This is most definitely the modern slave trade. It's all about money. It costs 30 minutes for us to talk on this phone. For 30 minutes, it costs $8. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, anywhere, you know, you could pay $50 a month on a cell phone and call unlimited. The Airmart, the food provider, they are allowed to sell us food, you know, like hamburgers, chicken sandwiches, you know, French fries, and that type of thing. But they turn around and feed you garbage. Even on a regular basis, they feed you food that'll kill you. Anybody that wants to can go to Google and Google Airmart in the prison system, and you'll see all kind of lawsuits and how the food is making people sick and everything. They don't have any, like for us African Americans, they don't have any. They don't teach you anything about Black history. You know, like for Martin Luther King's Day, to aggravate people don't know what kind of games they play just to aggravate everyone. They lock us down. Normally, when things are, you know, up and functional, we usually have wreck. But on that particular day, they locked us down. For the month of Black History Month, they didn't have anything here for us. You know, usually at Michigan City, when I was in Michigan City, we had a lot. You know, people used to come in from Chicago and teach us about our Black history, and you know, it wasn't you know, in the public school system, you know, you learn about the civil rights movement, you learn about Martin Luther King, you learn about you as a slave and all of that kind of stuff, but they don't teach you nothing about your history before your last name, right. Like the Kemetic people. Right. You know, the pyramid builders, you know, our mathematics come from us. We don't learn all of those things. Our people need to hear that. We need to know that we can rise above what has been placed on us. We have had so much that the music that these youngsters listen to, listen to the rap music. I love the instrumental. I listen to rap, but listen to everything. Almost everything they listen to is about murder. Right. About yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, undercover brother. Now, when you speak of, and I'm going to open the lines 317-239-1310. If you have a question for undercover brother, you can call. He's actually giving a depictive description of the criminal justice system. And it seems as though idle time is the idle time is the devil's playground. And it seems as though because of the lack of vocational opportunities and job readiness opportunities for those who are returning back into society, they'd have no other choice but to kind of get back involved with the criminal justice system if someone's not there to rescue them at that particular time. And so you're seeing the lives of these young men being ruined instead of the system working to rehabilitate and help these young men learn a lesson from their actions. They're actually just training them to primarily go out and reoffend.
Let me say this, brother. I don't mean to cut you off. My memory's not, I'm 54 now and I'm really stressed out. Let me say this. A lot of these young men that come from these drug-fueled homes are already psychologically destroyed because a lot of them don't know who their fathers are, and a lot of them have fathers like me that are in prison, and the mothers are often on drugs. So when a boy sees his mother with different men and the child is being neglected as far as not being fed, and here's mother in the next room maybe having relations with this man. That psychologically destroys him. Mama, I'm hungry. All right, boy, I'm gonna get you something to eat. I ain't gonna take you down. They go through all of this, and people, these judges downtown that deal with these people in the public. I mean, these public defenders and the probation. They don't care about these people. They don't consider that. They don't consider these people, and all of them are not black. It's a lot of. Drugs were originally targeted for the black communities, but they went off in all communities now. As we have a heroin addiction now. You have a lot of Caucasians coming to prison strung out on heroin, and these children have been psychologically destroyed before they come in here. Then when they come in here, the administration is playing games. They are intentionally doing things to make these youngsters and make people go against each other. They are here robbing each other. They are here beating each other. They don't have no food. When I came in the system, you could go to the child hall and get 3 real square meals. The officers even had a dining hall. So if you didn't have money for commissary, when you went to the child hall, you got full. You couldn't say that you didn't have anything that was worthwhile. Fried chicken, grains, real food. Here, the whole system. I don't know. I want to say this too. The whole prison system in Indiana is on lockdown now because they've had trouble all in and out and through the play. And they want to probably try to blame it on COVID, but that's not the total reason. They are intentionally doing things to make people fight and go against each other and go against the state. That's how come. If you go online, you'll see they have a shortage on correctional officers. No one wants to work here. No one wants to work for the Department of Corrections at all. Especially this prison. This prison, there's been more deaths. They let a man die this past Christmas. Next time I get online, I'm going to have all the information. I have a witness that recorded this man's life, his last moments of his life. They turned his water off over there, and he didn't have no water or nothing. And they just let him die, and he died. It was just so awful.
So what you're saying is, when you look at George, excuse me.
Go ahead.
When you look at George Floyd, and you can see the officer putting the knee on his neck, you're saying that's a reoccurrence type situation in the prison. Is that what you're kind of getting at?
Most definitely. A lot of people, I'm not saying, I don't know a lot of people, if they don't realize it or not, some of your most high-tech lynchings take place right there in Marion County in the courtroom system. You have one court in particular, but all of them are prejudiced. But you have a judge down there named Lisa Borges that took over for Patricia Gibson, and she was something else too. But she's one of the most coldest, she has one of the most coldest courtrooms in the city county. And it's not hardly anything that you can say because there's so many people that commit so many egregious crimes, but you have people that are in her courtroom that are not guilty that come through the system. A lot of cases are put in front of juries for juries to decide that should have never made it in front of a jury because you have a right to protect yourself. You have a lot of people that are defending themselves, and death occurs out of that because if they don't defend themselves, they'll be dead. But the detectives know that it's not a criminal act, but yet still they give it to the prosecutors, and the prosecutors process. This prosecutor that we have now is one of the best prosecutors, and I don't know all the ins and outs now, but I'm just judging from the news. He's one of the best prosecutors I've seen in my lifetime.
Right,
because as soon as he took over from Terry R. Curry, he dismissed all of these petty marijuana cases. Right. Indiana's the type of place they pull you over. You got a roach in the car. They want to see you to prison for 2 or 3 years, put you on probation, give you,
Well, undercover brother. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we do have a caller. Are you willing to take a question from a caller. We have Larry. Go ahead, Larry, with your question or comment.
You know something? I know George Floyd was a bad thing, right? That happened. Nobody deserves to be choked to death. But he was disobedient to law enforcement. Look at the $27 million reward he got. Just think of what that money could do to help people that's really trying to do something with their lives. Your programs that need to be funded to help people coming out of prison. And not only that, the taxpayers end up paying that money. That may be the $200 added onto your property tax that you can't afford to pay. So when we hold up somebody like George Floyd, and a lot of bad things are coming out about him, like I said, he didn't deserve to die. But when you bring that up, you demolish any argument you got. And another thing, undercover brother, let me tell you, if you don't work in this system, you got nothing coming. We have for too long told our young men that you need to go to college or else. And you know, when you go to college, you end up getting compromised with a big debt hanging over your back and a compromised profession. So we can keep on going, but any people that disregard skilled intellect, that is craft, we definitely don't last long. But anyway, Antonio, I want your number because I understand that you're doing have a crew.
Mm-hmm. Producer give you our number, and I do want to say to you, maybe one week we can schedule and get you on the show. How about that? That way you won't have to feel rushed when you give your comments. Okay?
I'll be fine to get. Just look at my Facebook page on Facebook, Larry Vaughn, and you'll see the kind of work I do. But for 40 years, I've been in the art glass business. But alongside that, I learned how to do everything from storefronts to install and replace it. So I have a job at this time, but I'm not going to do it. I get calls for these jobs all the time. And if you have a construction crew, I will be able to, not train them, but at least work with them and make sure that they can complete a job properly.
Well, thank you so much, Larry, for your help and your support, man. And thank you for your call. Hey, let's go ahead and get Larry off the line, and brother, undercover brother, let me guide the ship, brother. You don't have to interrupt. We got you. But go ahead with your comments, undercover brother.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that in America, America has spent hundreds of zillions and millions and trillions of dollars on destroying our African mindset, our culture, robbing us from George Floyd life was worth more than $27 million. Anything that he, the word says, let he without sin cast the first stone. George Floyd had a right to wake up in the morning and change anything that he was doing or anything that they wanted, any kind of propaganda that they want to spread about the brother. He had a family that loved him. A lot of times we have to have empathy for a person. You have to put yourself in that position, even if you are not, even if you're a law-abiding citizen, you had a good upbringing, and your horizons are more brighter than what they want to allege his are. His life was worth way more than $27 million. He deserves his daughters. Hopefully that they'll take that money and they'll be able to go to college and do things or open business. So everybody is not built for college. You have people with learning disabilities. Right here in this prison right here, people with learning disabilities are being ran over. A lot of people have learning disabilities. They have disabilities that other people don't understand because they don't have those disabilities. So everybody's not college material. And they need to have vocational training, and they need to have things in place for people that have disabilities. They don't have that in this prison system. And I promise you that your tax dollars are being squandered. You know, understand? They give Indiana hundreds of millions of dollars. You understand? And there's no reason why programs shouldn't be set in place. Right. Like I said, and we always have to, be mindful of what you say. And we all, have an opinion and everything, but let's be really thoughtful for our people that have had their life. That man was lynched by that officer. and he was lynched in front of the whole world. You have people all across the world that have high IQs, low IQs, black, white, Chinese, everybody. You have all of these people that would outweigh, us saying that, look at the $27 million. They should have gave him $100 million. They should have gave him $300 million. You understand?
Yeah. Well, you got a great point, Undercover Brother. I just don't think you can put a price tag on somebody's life.
The man's life is priceless.
And unfortunately, their demise, our fate, is because we do say Black Lives Matter, but then when one is taken, we diminish the value by trying to use their past or whatever they had done in the past as a means of justifying or even diminishing the fact that there was an officer that took his knee and just choked a man out in front of everybody in broad daylight. So that's not even an argument. But we want to stay focused on the true essence of the show, and that's giving you a chance to really give an overview. Because here's the thing, we just had a mother call in. Her son was killed, and just so happens if they find the killer is going to have to give recompense in a system that you're explaining. And she was looking for ways that the young people would understand how things really work. Because on one hand, they're glorifying these weapons of mass destruction, these military grade weapons in these different videos and different commentaries. They're glorifying them, but they don't show them the other side. I remember when we were coming up, they kind of glorified sex. Don't see nothing wrong with a little bit of bump and grind, but then they didn't tell you the part where if you really didn't love that woman and you had a baby by her, you're gonna have to pay child support. So there's always other sides to the devastation that we're not seeing as a community. And I really wanted you to bring out this other side of these young men that you see on a daily basis that didn't have the necessary rearing and parenting that they needed, and show them like, hey, this is what you get for this crime. Not no justifiable, glorified acceptance. You get a prison system that could possibly last you for the rest of your life. Am I right?
Let me, yes, sir. Let me comment. Because I hate that we have to, because of this we on a timer and this thing, it makes the conversation hard because I have to try to, be as fast as I can. I want to get as much as I can. First of all, I want to say that don't always believe what the news has to say. Second of all, once I hear many ministers, I wouldn't dare say anything against them because they're doing something. We don't have all of the answers. Everything's not perfect, and people are so quick to point the finger at people and ridicule what they're doing. But one thing I want the ministers to be mindful of, and people to be mindful of, when you ask these youngsters or people to turn themselves in, you don't know what you're asking them to turn themselves into. The people that you're asking them to turn themselves into, you don't even know if these people are guilty a lot of times. When you ask someone to turn themselves in, you should have their back. If you can get on public TV and ask these youngsters and different people to turn themselves in, we all should have a fun. Just like the brother said, we have money.
Undercover brother, I got to interrupt you for a second because I want you to talk better clearly about the experience of these young men in the prison system. Right. What are they going through? What are you going through? What are you?
Okay, let me speed up then. Okay,
now because we're running out of time.
This is some of what they're going through. They are frustrated because a lot of them are being convicted, Antonio, and they don't have money for attorneys. This builds up. This is a part of the frustration on top of the food, on top of them not having programs for them. In prison, you don't want to put people on idle, or many people are on idle, and they don't have anything to do, and they're frustrated because they don't have attorneys. They don't have anyone that's trying to help them come out of here. A lot of them are being convicted and they're receiving too much time. A lot of things that go on in the system that I try to explain. A lot of people cut me off and don't understand that the system is a very complex system. The system is not always as you see it or as you imagine it to be. Now that's why I was getting to that. So I'm gonna jump to it. Okay. This is a part of. This is a large part. Listen to me. This is a large part of what frustration is, and these boys are giving up and they hurting each other and they smoking this stuff. This Katie, I don't know how this stuff's coming in here. It's terrible. They're dying and everything, but
you have 1 minute remaining.
A big frustration is that they don't have any help to fight to get out of prison, because a lot of them have a way out, Antonio, and they need help. And when they come in here, it's a lot of young men that are dying. There's more people. You wouldn't believe what's going on right here in Indiana. This is going on in the prison system. Not just this prison. This is the worst, but it's going on all across Indiana. This oppression, this reckoning. We need people like you, Antonio, to come into this system, and you need to listen, and not cut people like me off. And need to listen so I can guide you the right way, because you can't see this vision. The only way that you can know about
we thank God for Undercover Brother. We only have so much time on the show, so we gotta get him in. But we're thankful, Dr. Dorothy Heron. I really wanted to get you in as well, but the brother's so full of wanting to get his point across, and so we're so thankful for that. So we want you to know that we come on every week, every Monday, from 6 to 7, and feel free to come in. Okay, we got 5 more minutes. Great. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you were saying wrap it up. Okay. Oh, with him. Okay, got you. All right, so we got Dr. Dorothy Heron on the line. Dr. Dorothy Heron, are you there?
I am.
Okay, so he had a lot to say, and I wanted to make sure, my producer helped me out here. We wanted to make sure we were able to take callers, and we're able to get a summary of what we heard. We heard black men behind the prison walls, and others, not just black men, but he said there was an epidemic of people who were suffering from drug use, even behind the prison walls. It was just horrific. What's your take on that, Dr. Heron?
I would like to say that we're on task. Right now, we're already in the prison system, and it's like kindergarten. You know, we're here in Indiana at the jail downtown, but we're being prepared to go even farther. You know, and he's sharing with us, and we already got an idea about evil and how evil works. You know, you open the door a little crack and it just busts open. But we've got a tool that we're using that's going to work. God's word will not come back void. We are on task, and we getting ready. Well, he already got his eviction notice. The enemy has to keep his hands, his mind, and his mouth off of our people. We're past sick and tired. We are in action. We are on our way to tear the devil work down. And the mission is just for us to be on one accord. And one accord is us loving each other and caring for each other. We got to get on one accord and be about it. Be about God's business, not personal. You know, Antonio is the community pastor, but it's not personal. He is being led by the Holy Spirit. We on task. It's just a matter of time. Yeah, it's just a matter of time. And I want the brother to be encouraged. I want the community to be encouraged. And we are at church every Sunday starting at 11:30. So come by. just come by and see, come by and join the movement. This is not church like church. This is God's business that we're about.
That's right.
You got a problem with us, tell God. You tell God. You got a problem, tell God. He hears us. God is real. He's living. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to say tonight.
That's right. And Dr. Dorothy Herron, we want to open up the phone lines. We got about 2 minutes. So if somebody had a question or comment of what they heard, of course, our heart goes out to the brother and what he's going through, and also to those other men that are in that situation. If you don't have a comment or want to call in, I ask that you would pray. Simply pray for Miami correction. I think that that's just a horrific experience. And I know that there are so many that are suffering in that situation, and we need to make sure there's a passage in the scripture that talks about those in prison, how we are to help those in prison.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure we're mindful of those that are in prisons and jails, and do what we can to rehabilitate them, to make sure that they're coming out healthy. Simultaneously, please pray for those who have lost their loved ones due to gang violence, senseless gang violence, and or whatever, for whatever reason. It could be a domestic reason, whatever the reason would be. Even if the person is not even in a position where they deserve something like that in any sort of way. But we just thank God for another wonderful broadcast as we bring this thing to a conclusion. Thank you, Dr. Dorothy Herron, for being a co-host on this show. And again, we're here Monday from 6 to 7 every week. And we just want your support. So God bless you. And you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. Peace.
And that mother, we look forward to working with her, because I believe her pain has given birth to a ministry, and we want to help her launch it.
That's right. That's right. Well, God bless you all. You've been listening to Black Power Presents. I've been your host, Antonio Lipscomb. Let's keep in touch. Peace.
Great job, Antonio.
You have been listening to Black Power Presents. We hope that you've been enlightened today. For more information about our sponsor, Minority Contractors Collaboration, and our radio program, please contact us at 317-991-3150. That's 317-991-3150. Or contact our host, Antonio Lipscomb, via email at antonio@mccindiana.org. That's Antonio@mccindiana.org. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to you joining us again next week.